Hey, White Sox fans, that was Scott Reichard kicking on I guess you call it our theme song. Thank you, Scott. He is on the mend. He's going to be back with us probably with some podcasts here in the off season. Oh my goodness. It is Mothership Podcast number 70. I'm Brett Ballantini hosting via costume, but you couldn't tell. My costume obscures, and we have many other. This is a time you're probably going to go over to the South Side, hit pen, YouTube channel and watch this podcast because apparently we've spontaneously decided in a very crucial meeting earlier today that all the Soxivus festivities should be done costumed. And, you might want to check us out because most of us are indeed costumed. Welcome to Soxivus. We have a huge room of folks who are going to participate in something we don't have a pithy title for, but essentially it is favorite games of the year, top games of the year. Most of the folks in this room here have written on one. And so I'm going to pretty much just go through chronologically and, calling everybody when their time comes up. But hey, welcome. Merry Soxivus to all. And let's have a nice podcast night. A special welcome to Keelin Billue back with the team. Apparently she was waived and I didn't even realize I'd waived her off of podcasts. Wasn't that sweet of me? Thank you for sticking with me, Keelin, and showing up.
I'm hurt, but I have a forgiving heart.
Showing up mustachioed and again, you might want to watch. It's the Southside Hit Pen YouTube channel. And coming in late, even though I don't believe he is writing on a game, we'll talk to him towards the end of this podcast. It's Tommy Barbie Penguin, I believe. Penguin.
That's right. Hello, world.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about top games. The post is on site. As you listen to this podcast, you probably already read it. We are recounting top games of the year. They might not necessarily be the best games, but they probably are. And we are going to go in somewhat chronological order with the folks who actually wrote on the games. And guess what? That means the mustachioed one. She's here. We had to have her here. We couldn't do this podcast without her. Is Keelin Billue writing on a game that she witnessed, I believe, in person, and is hard. Yes. You'd be hard pressed not to pick this as the top game of the White Sox season. Is way back when you were probably wearing 6 or 7 layers for an April game, and a guy named Carlos Rodón took the mound.
Yeah, just some guy that I was like, okay, that guy that left the team and now he's back. Whatever, no big deal.
You already bought the tickets, so.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that's a good way to put the vibe around that game. It was my first not post-COVID, but my first post-COVID as a mass thing game. And so I was just honestly super excited to be there. I had trouble paying attention the whole time because, it was just great to be there. The atmosphere was really good. It was a little chilly. I think I was wearing 3 layers that night. I wasn't even really paying attention that much. I knew it was I think Bieber was pitching that night, and it was a good matchup. And, they were just both kind of rolling with it. And then I think it was maybe the 5th or 6th inning that it was oh, wait a minute. And then it's holy crap. And you could tell collectively, everyone was it just got kind of quiet and eerie. And then, everybody was holy shit. And then there was all this tension and people would started murmuring about it a little bit. And it was just amazing after being out of crowds that big for so long and not having, that was the biggest event I'd been to in a while, just to have this collective feeling and just this energy in the air, and knowing it was the beginning of the season that we all had a lot of high hopes for. It was just holy crap. And obviously with few expectations from Rodon, it was okay, he's for real now. So I don't know. It was a super special game to be at and to witness, and very unexpected. Again, I was just happy to be there, and bam.
Not that we're trying to steal your thunder. I believe that Dick and I, during his very brief, as it's turned out, his very brief appearance with Southside Sox, come back, Dick, please come back to us. But were you there at the game or at some point with Mr. Saves Tuesday to catch that game?
I was. Yeah, we watched it together, and he actually was like, at one point, just like, wait a minute, something's going on. And I was like, I don't even, like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, look at the numbers. And I was like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And we were in the 500, like 530s, I think.
Oh, perfect
so we had
perspective.
A really good view.
Sure.
Yeah. It was awesome. And whenever, he had that final out, everybody rushed him and they were hugging him. And it was just like, this is awesome. And for it to be at the beginning of the season, it was great. Still really weird talking about all this with a mustache on.
Keelin Billue / Juan Valdez giving us her her footage available somewhere on Twitter. I believe. Was this the first time, Keelin, you'd ever viciously booed someone's toe, someone's foot?
Oh man, yeah. So that pissed me off. I mean, because how many like perfect games have there been? Like 30, something crazy.
I think
so I was like
20-ish.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, no, but at the same time, it was like, I mean, the odds of seeing a no-hitter also, I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Unexpected
probably.
evening. I was just happy to be there. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? And like later on, I watched it, and I was also texting my Tigers fan brother the whole time.
So rub it in. Yeah. That dirty. We haven't talked about your brother for a while, probably because you haven't been invited to podcast for about 3.5 years. But man, dirty brother. It's now, if you freshly coming off of picking beans, or are you not actually Juan Valdez? Who are you, Keelin? Or is this just your alter ego?
I was too lazy to go downstairs and get my Gumby costume, so I was like, I have a cowboy hat and an eyebrow pencil, so I'm just a cowboy.
Okay.
With a like handlebar. I can't grow facial hair necessarily, so I just want to try it on sometimes. Maybe give it a few years.
Well,
yeah.
Key, welcome to the guy side. For this podcast, for number 70, welcome to the guy side. You can spit, you can scratch, just go for it. There are no rules. This is good news for you. No more rules. Okay, moving down the line. This is tricky because we got sort of a double pack, a double header from Zach Hayes, aka the White Mamba. So Zach, if you don't want to like take too much of the stage, you just talk about one of the games, but you are covering another Rodon masterpiece, but also a 6 home run game from the White Sox, which for the season was pretty notable.
Yeah, just first of all, shout out Brian Scalabrine, White Mamba will live forever. As a timeless low effort costume as well. So, oh man, yeah. That second Rodon game, which if I remember the date right, is July 18th against Houston, was just to build off everything that Keelin just said, like that might have been the peak of the season in a lot of different ways. I think that was when they hit 20 games over 500 for the first time. They shut down a very, as we see, very, very good Houston lineup 2 days in a row, just kicked their asses. And it was a Sunday afternoon, and there were a decent number of people, but I was able to make my way to pretty close to the action, and seeing it up close he was just stronger than them. It's hard to make Yordan Alvarez and Carlos Correa just look bad and overpowered, but that's what he did. He threw nothing but fastballs and sliders, and I looked into it a little bit, and he got 12 swings and misses against Astros hitters on fastballs, and only 2 other pitchers this past year got to 10. One of them was Max Scherzer, which tracks, and the other was Andrew Heaney, which does not. But anyway, yeah, he was something special that day. That was really, I mean, think of the date. It was not all downhill from there, but that was really the point where you thought, man, like Rodon is the best pitcher in baseball. They haven't even gotten their Eloy and Luis haven't come back yet. That was when all the possibility was still open, and man, just that kind of dominance is rare, and we know it. So,
and you're right, Zach. It turned out to be pretty much the highlight, maybe not of the season, but of the White Sox season series with Houston. There were not many highlights, so you really caught the special one, the magical one. Scalabrini, I've spoken to you before. I did not realize that you had such an insightful baseball mind. I really didn't. I'm sorry. I guess you're full of surprises.
Multi-sport, well-rounded, that's the power of the redhead, can I say?
And a good look, the naked arms. Again, folks, dial up the YouTube channel.
I'm wearing the shorts
arms.
too. I'm not going to get up, but I'm wearing the shorts too.
Oh man, we need a cat miss.
Yeah.
I was going to say we
Let's
need
get it.
a cat mishap to force you up in the door, but thank you. A bonus.
I'll give you a little runway show at the end. But.
Again, www. Southside Hit Pan on YouTube. Go check it out. You guys just missed it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to squeeze in as many of these other games and talk to as many of these other people as we can. I'm breaking early because, I just got to sell for SB Nation. We will be back in a minute. Hey, White Sox fans, if you're watching on YouTube, it wasn't a minute. It was just a brief second. We are celebrating Soxivus. Along with, thankfully, Penguin Barbie did join us. He is the mastermind of Soxivus. We will allow him to claim some credit here toward the end of the podcast because it's all him. It is all him, Tommy Barbie. Not Brett Ballantini, your host right here. Not even the briefly now masculine Keelin Billue. It is podcast 70. We are celebrating Soxivus. We don't know the name of it, but we've decided that this week of Soxivus is costumed. And most of us are, including White Mamba. Delicious. We are moving now to, I'm scared of this one because we had a whole podcast about this and I got beaten bloody by half of the Estro Power Hour over Field of Dreams. But that game on August 12th, Crystal O'Keefe, it just made you lighten up just a tiny bit on the movie or corn or something.
No, I still hate the movie, but it's garbage. I'm sorry. But the game itself.
Let's talk about the game.
Was a bit more special. Also, I am Joe Goldberg from You, or also Joe Reeses, depending on if you're or not. We're twins. Anyway, that game, yeah. So stop laughing because I'm gonna do it. Okay. Well, I picked that game because it was just completely wild, and I kind of wanted to talk shit about the movie in that 3 paragraphs I actually wrote about it. But at the same time, it was an awesome game. It was really, really cheesy and really stupid. But at the same time, Zebby Zavala got a home run, which was completely wild. There was a Tim Anderson walk-off, which felt like a movie. I don't know, it was wild. Jose Abreu got the first home run, which was exciting because those don't happen in Iowa. It's just really nice to beat the Yankees, even though they killed us for the rest of that series. It was just nice to do it on a highly anticipated game where every single person was watching, that you can see Tim Anderson just dominate for a little bit. So it was fun.
And it didn't count, Crystal. You'll see in the standings the fact that they lost the other 5 games or whatever in during the season. It didn't really count. The Field of Dreams game is what counted. That was about 3 wins worth, I think, just because of the drama, because of the corn, because of the deliciousness of the movie. Come on, you know the truth. You know the truth.
The movie is much like Dylan Cease eating the feeding corn that was not actually sweet corn.
He's a city boy. Well, Crystal, next year when you dress up as your compadre in the Indianapolis field office, Joseph Reeses, you need to remember the pinstripe uniform. But other than that, you nailed it.
I also put my contacts in so I could see. So
okay. All right. Okay. Next time, wear the glasses. Okay. Well, thank you, Crystal. And see me after class about that Field of Dreams thing. Okay. Adrian Serrano chose a game that is near and dear to my heart. It might be one, along with the Rodon no-hitter, that I might have chosen. And of course, Field of Dreams for many reasons, Crystal. The ridiculous Grant Park's 16-inch softball league game against the Cubs, 17-13, complete nonsense. And if there's anything that says a Tony La Russa managed team in 2021, it's ludicrousness and ridiculousness. So it is the perfect game to talk about and write about. Adrian, you chose it. Talk to me.
I did. Yeah, it's a good lead in too, because those 3 games before me are probably my other 3 favorite from this year. So out of the Field of Dreams game kind of touched on it, but this 17-13 game at guaranteed rate is just kind of everything that makes me love baseball. It's just outrageous. It's like nothing makes sense. It's like I don't even know who Frank Schwindel is. I still don't believe Frank Schwindel is an actual living person. Like I feel like that's like a creative player. But just this lineup coming in, and then Yasmani Grandal being activated that morning officially and having 8 RBIs and 2 home runs and a double. We have Reynaldo coming in for 5 innings of perfect relief pitching after Dallas gives up 6 in the first. We had been arguing for about 2 weeks at that point after, I think, at the deadline about whether or not Kimbrel was ever going to be successful if he wasn't pitching in the 9th. So he finally gets the pitch in the 9th, and he gives up a 3-run homer after, looking pretty good for the first 2 hitters. So like, it was just a bonkers game, and it was coincided with, my first live music concert, of the post-pandemic era. So like, it was just a crazy night, and I was in Wrigleyville, and the White Sox fans had kind of taken over Wrigleyville. There wasn't a lot of Cubs fans to be seen anywhere that I went. So it was just kind of it was a cool night that I felt like the city kind of changed over a little bit this year.
Sneak preview of the rest of the 2020s, North Side. Yes, it is definitely, Adrian, he didn't really pay attention. He just decided to write a feature. So that is running alongside the feature piece where everybody's paragraphs are in. And of course, this podcast. So make sure to check that out, because he's got some crazy stuff going where he's at the concert and he's digging the band, and the White Sox are kicking ass, and then maybe sort of they're not. And then Craig Kimbrel suddenly decides he wants to make it a save situation. It's a very fine piece, and thank you for the extra effort you put out.
I didn't read the assignment. I just started into it.
He's a rocker, man. Just let the guy write, okay? Just let the guy write. All right, we are going to wind up for the official among the guests here, the official writers in all of this, and we're going to scoot all the way to almost the end of the season, almost the very last game of the season. Joe Reeses chooses maybe the other good Houston Astros game this year for the White Sox, and that is a playoff win. Can you spin this to make me feel good about it, Joe?
Sure. I mean, it doesn't get much better than comeback wins in the playoffs. I was feeling very much like the season was going to come to an end that night. I mean, they fell behind 5-1 early on, and really the first 2 games didn't give us much reason to believe that they were going to make it a competitive series at all. So I was already thinking ahead to the offseason after the Astros jumped out to that early lead. And the bottom of the 3rd inning was just a complete turnaround as far as my emotions were concerned. And as you could hear on the broadcast, even the reactions of the fans at Guaranteed Rate Field were very good to hear. And so they came back and won that game, and by the time that game came to an end, the pathway to coming back to win that series was still there. I mean, this team could absolutely win 2 more games, and they wasn't still a long shot, but I mean, still got to take those wins in the playoffs when you can get them. That especially one of that level of excitement with Leori Garcia hitting that big 3-run homer, and that chaotic bottom of the 4th inning with Yasmani Grandal just breaking the system and teaching us all a rule that we probably didn't know about. I certainly didn't know about that interference call. That was really exciting, and it was also on my birthday, so that helped. Season
so now we know
on my birthday, so that was a bonus.
Okay, so now we got it. It has nothing to do with the playoff game or the black. Let's not forget this. As much buildup as we gave and as much credit we gave the blackout. I mean, that was the blackout game. That was the only successful one. That was the one at night where it actually looked sort of cool. Now, I don't know if anyone in the room was at that blackout game. Mamba, were you at that one? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, he looked. Yeah. He was all about the blackout, no doubt about it. But I mean, there's even talk about which one was better, 2008 or 2021. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna vote 2008, but whatever. Jackie Cressel's she's not with us, but she's got towels from every game. She's got towels from both of those games, so she can tell us. We'll talk to her later in the offseason and find out which was better. Okay, Joe, again, next year, or maybe later in the Soxivus season, when you dress up as Crystal, I mean, this is going to be it's going to be a little tougher for you. You've got to get the tats. You've got to wear, well, you got the glasses. So you're there. Hair, I'm afraid to say, you're going to have to let it grow.
Yeah.
So I
might
guess
be a
next year.
challenge.
Yeah, maybe
It's orange right now too, so.
Okay. Well, all right. Maybe orange makes up for the lack of length. You're just something to consider if you want to dive into this, and you probably should. This is you guys are in cubicles right next to each other in Indianapolis. Come on. Okay. We have 2 wild card guests here who have not committed to writing, but are still allowed to vote for a favorite game or harumph, a game that we've already discussed. I am unsure if Trooper is there, but if he is, Trooper, first of all, welcome. And do you have a favorite game, or do you just want to second something else that was rolled out here by one of our other wonderfully costumed and talented writers?
Oh, hey, Brett. Thanks for having me. First off, I hope you like my costume.
Yes, it's very nice. I've never seen one like that.
I'm the Invisible Man.
All right. The Invisible Man effect is extremely good because we can't even hear you at this moment. So we are going to give you a chance to come on back, Mr. Trooper.
I'm going to try and go a different route here.
Okay.
I'm going to go with May 5th at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right.
You can't hear me.
Yeah, we're going to see if your
Still can't
connection,
hear me?
we're going to see if your connection gets
Okay.
better. And we are determined to
Am I
have
back?
a terrific debut from
Am I
Trooper,
back
but
now
we're
or
going to
no?
switch over to Tommy Barbie, the Penguin, who is going to discuss, I don't know, he's the Festivus, or he's the Soxivus guy.
Let me know if you can hear me or not.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on to Tommy here, Trooper, because we cannot hear you. And Tommy, what do you got for us?
I think just kind of going through the season, it really cemented kind of the highs and lows for me, because it was like, even the great games that we discussed, I still go back to like the Field of Dreams game. As great as that ending was, like thinking about all of those home runs that were given up, and just like there was a lot of
this is a
bullpen
White Sox
angst.
fan talking right here. This
There
is
was
a White
lot
Sox
of bullpen
fan.
angst leading up to the dramatics of the Tim Anderson walk-off, and the softball game of the White Sox Cubs game, where it was just like, that was just a Tony La Russa masterclass, I think, of the 2021 season. Everything that you could complain about was there. And
I mean, he did good. They made the playoffs.
they did. And, they did so well that, like, you had the Rodon game, where that was the game to me where ultimate cynic here felt like, okay, this team could be something.
Right.
Because that really was the game where, in that series, where they mostly did so well against a team like the Astros, where you really felt good about the overall direction of things. So really hats off to the folks that covered those games, because I think those were really great games to look at. But it's interesting kind of looking back on the season and those particular games, and some of the red flags that were there, but also some of the highlights as well.
Tommy, thank you for giving us the gift of Soxivus. It has become a month-long plus celebration, including even merchandise, which maybe someone sitting right here, maybe with guitars behind them, is participating in. And come Friday or so, we're going to unveil the Soxivus poll, apparently. This stuff we're just making up as we go along, and so is Tommy. Don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you. But thank you for this wonderful idea of Soxivus, because we're all look, we got 8 people celebrating right here, 7 of whom we can hear right now. So, and one of whom really shouldn't be mustachioed, but is, and you gotta like that. You gotta like that. Hey, let me throw my game in. Well, at least I'm going to throw in this because I'm a nerd. I'm going to steal some of Crystal and Joe and well, Zach, all of us, I guess, Steam. And I'm going to go by Championship Leverage Index. Ooh, no, actually, it's a stupid game because, let's face it, there wasn't much championship leverage. There was not much tension to the season itself. The whole second half was like, okay, when are they going to clinch? But according to that, the game the White Sox won that was like most crucial to their championship aspirations would have been May 31st. It's an 8-6 victory in extra innings, fake extra innings, because it was doubleheader against Cleveland. And Crystal's going to be especially excited to know that in part of a 3-run 8th inning, Jose Abreu did put together the game-winning RBI. In fact, he put the game-tying RBI. Game-winning RBI came from a homer, Adam Eaton. So we sort of get to celebrate. We get to say goodbye. Frankly, I might have chose the first game the White Sox played after he got waived. That might be my favorite game of the year. That might be the one I still write up. I haven't written mine yet. I may still choose that. Or else, who knows? Maybe I'll just celebrate. A tiny tear will hit my cheek, and I will say goodbye once and for all to Adam Eaton by writing about the Championship Leverage Index game 1.76, crucial game at the end of May for the White Sox championship aspirations. Hey, Keelin, welcome back. Nice to have you around. I hope that you join more podcasts when I bother to invite you.
Thanks.
Okay.
I will.
That's good. Hey, Indianapolis field office, thank you for joining. Really, I mean, not gonna expect like a Freaky Friday, but if it happens, I'm not gonna say no. So just go throw that out there, guys. Okay.
Next time it's just going to be Joe and I in the same room, and you have to guess who's who.
Oh, totally. Right. And then put a good enough like curtain between you. And well, man, we're really going to be confused. Serrano, we look forward to Soxivus poll. Excellent work. That's something for everyone listening, because we're just having our own private party here. We don't care about any of you listening at this point. We're just chatting. Come Friday, Soxivus poll is unveiled. Tommy doesn't even know what it is. He's like, well, this sounds cool, and I'm going to take credit. Brett's going to give me credit. I'll take credit. Thank you, Adrian. Excellent extra work, and for chiming in with 8,000 words about the 17-13 football game that really does represent the White Sox season as good as any.
It was an event.
Yeah. Again, White Mamba, we got to talk more baseball. I'd never realized this. We just like talked about your weird roles, like waving towels on the bench. And look, as it turns out, you're a baseball analyst. That's sweet.
Bulls are back. Catch me in June, July.
For real. Yeah. In Grant Park. Hello.
He works for the Celtics now, actually. So, I mean, I don't know how much I can speak, but
well, it's too late to disinvite you, Mamba. So, all right, you're here. Plus, you flashed a leg, so it's all good. Tommy, again, thanks for this. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Now, next week, preview of coming attractions. We started out ugly because we aired our grievances. These last couple of weeks have been sort of sweet because we did the what was it? The battle of whatever, where you're supposed to murder.
Feats of Strength.
Feats of Strength, where you're supposed to murder Tony La Russa. I guess technically that's negative. I don't know. I'll just keep my opinion to myself. This one was a happy one. Next week, we will reconvene to talk about worst games. And, it'll probably be more fun. And who knows what the costumes will be. Freaky Friday. But we'll be doing that. And then, I don't know. Soxivus Miracles. I don't even know what that is. But that's what's going to end this thing up. So as inner workings, we're making it up as we go along. As always here at Southside Sox, thank you for celebrating Soxivus along with us. It's a thing we didn't even know was going to happen. But then Tommy Barbie said, I'm ready to air some grievances. And it's like, okay, the plan kicked into action. Tommy, has it already grown? Is it basically you're going to have to, Serrano, get on this. We might just have to have an advent calendar at this point because we have a lot. Did you think that this could possibly blossom as quickly as it did?
Any opportunity for Sox fans to get together and complain, I think always bodes well for collective content. So thank you all for helping to see it through.
Yes, it got you in a penguin outfit.
It did.
On camera.
Exactly.
So there's my gift under the tree. I don't care about Christmas any longer. It's Christmas in November for me. Well, everyone, thanks for listening as always. If you're smart, you're watching. If you're not watching, I'm sorry, SB Nation killing your hits, but if you're not watching, what's the point? We're all dressed up. We got Juan Valdez up there taking the coffee beans. We got Rockin' Serrano. I'm not sure what he is. He's just a cool dude. Whatever. Okay, that's awesome. White Mamba. Freaky Friday going on with the Rhesus O'Keefe. Galactus Invisible. Loving it. And Penguin. For God's sake. And then whatever I am. I'm, Okay, well, we are going to do this again in a week, and we're going to talk about the ugly games, and maybe all of you will join me again. You are definitely welcome. Please, everyone, listen in for podcast 71. It's Soxivus frown emoji, whatever. Tommy, get on it. Serrano, get on it. Okay, see you, White Mamba. See you, Valdez. See you, Crystal. See you, Serrano. See you, Invisible Man. See you, Penguin. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Come back in a week or so and listen to 71, because if you're like Tommy Barbie, you like to complain. We're going to be complaining next week. Enjoy the article. Enjoy, again, Merry Soxivus. Merry Soxivus all. To all. A good night.
Merry Soxivus.